So to demystify budgeting and make budgeting a lot simpler, make your budget as simple as life gets. Go primordial with it. People want to eat a Mediterranean diet. Have a primordial diet. Have a primordial financial diet. Meat, veggies, and fruits. That's it. Cut out carbohydrates, cut out grains. You'll see dramatic weight loss increase. Just the same way, food, shelter, and transportation. That's all you actually need in life. Everything else that we have, you can include utilities with shelter if you want to. You have people living off the grid, living sustainable lifestyles that barely use electricity at all. Start there. Just do that. And then you will see, hopefully, how much money that you really have. So when I talk to you, like I did in the beginning of the series, or I did in the intro of all this, every single person in life is going to make $1 million. Every person, no matter what, is going to make $1 million. If you can cut all this down to just food, shelter, transportation, those are your main sensitive expenses, you would have a dramatic financially different life. Include your debts and your savings. I would say pay your debts off at a rate of about 15% if you can. Use 15% of your income for debts. That will give you a good little result. And for savings, I really have to agree with Dave Ramsey on this. Dave Ramsey on this. That once you get your emergency fund, to not spend your money to get out of debt seems a little ludicrous. So save at a rate of 10%. So it's 25% going to pay off your debts, 10% going to your savings. And that's not money that's being wasted or just going nowhere, because sometimes that's a mentality within that. That's 10%, and this is going to be the switchover. Once you get your emergency fund, you can spend 25% of your income paying off your debts, which is going to almost double the time. No, it's not double. I'm sorry. It's going to half the time that it's going to take you to pay off your debts and to get settled with all your accounts. Or you can flip that over to a 25% savings rate. So 25% of your income is going into savings. You're going to be fine for retirement. You're going to be fine to do basically anything in life that you want to do, because every 4 weeks is a paycheck. If you're paid bi-weekly, then every 2 months is like a full freaking paycheck, basically. You can't really beat that kind of lifestyle. So when that's as simple as you make your budget, and now there's no room for anything else, if your friends want to hang out, have your friends come over, cook them dinner like we used to do, because it's way cheaper to cook someone a chicken dinner than to go to Popeyes. Make them a chicken sandwich. Make your own chicken sandwich. And that's it. See how much money you have and you never knew you had. People are going to criticize that. People are going to have issues with that. But that is reality. Once you're done doing that, that's all the money that you're spending for at least 1 month. Try it one time. Give it 30 days. If you don't have any more money at the end of 30 days, you can go a different route if you want to. I'm not insulted by that. I got no issue with that whatsoever. Number 2, you should be making a list of your expenses, because once you get done with number 1, you're going to inevitably see all the other things that you spend your money on. So that first 30 days is honestly to track your expenses, to track ways that you're deviating, and write all that down. So once you've spent about 30 days doing that, if you already know all your expenses up front, you don't have to spend 30 days doing it. Just jump right into number 2 and just get this going. Because that's the whole heart. That's why it's 90 days. That first 30 days is within that 90 days. Make a very hard decision of an expense or vice to give up. To cut back on, to give up entirely. Just one thing for 90 days, and you will have all that money back in your pocket. It will be something my dad always taught me about with my smoking habit, is that he used to smoke, but when he wasn't, he always had money. Because all the money that he spent towards the vice, all the money that he spent towards that expense was now just his. and you feel so much more powerful and so much better because you can either buy in bulk now, so you can get whatever you need as much as you need it for. It's already there in your house. If you have a food habit, food and shelter's in there. You don't have to worry about so much eating out. You should cut out eating out if that's your vice and that's your habit. But now you don't have to go without that thing. You have to do that thing smarter. You have to do that thing better. And it's only for 90 days. You're going to get your life back. But hopefully you're going to have a dramatically different life after that 90 days. So the whole idea of this is about 300 days. Make a very, very hard decision. Don't eat out. Stop eating out. Once you see it for 90 days, you're going to understand. I'm not telling you to pay me for 90 days. I'm telling you to pay your goddamn self. I'm telling you to stop making other people rich. I'm telling you to stop just throwing money out of your pocket for other people to eat when you get one meal out of $40, and then you can buy an entire couple of days of groceries. You can buy a few extravagant, delicious meals for $40. It's mind-blowing stuff, folks. I know it's very simple. Cook at home. So if eating out was your number 2, now do it for 210 days. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. So 9 days is a quarter, 210 days, a little less than that. I mean, not a little less than a quarter, a little less than 3/4 of the year. So you spend about 75% of the year not eating out, which is this year, 1 year. Don't eat out for 75% of the year. So when Christmas time comes around, if you don't celebrate Christmas, I feel sorry for you. But when Christmas time comes around, you really don't have to worry about what you're going to get people. If you want to take a vacation, you can take a vacation. Whatever you want to do at that point is going to be 100% revitalized because you have so much more money by not eating out and just cooking your meals. You have such a better relationship with your friends and family now because the people that don't believe in this are going to make you poor. The people that think that this is stupid and they still want to go out and eat and spend all their money eating out, they're going to make you poor. You spend $40 every single night. You see where that ends you up. I stay with $300. That's $280 a week on food. For one meal. Not $280 for every single meal for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks for the week or for 2 weeks. That is maybe one meal a night for $280. It's not even equivalent. So my calculator's not open. I can do the math in my head if I try hard enough. This is gonna take me seconds. I don't do speed math. But we're gonna do some math right now. So that's 280 if you're eating out every single night. Times 4, 800 plus 320. So that's gonna be like $1,120 that you spend every month eating out. You're telling me that you don't need an extra $1,000 a month? You talk about starting a business and starting a side hustle. You talk about giving someone $500 on the internet to turn it into $5,000. If you just stopped eating out every night, you would save $1,000 a month. Nobody has the type of expendable income. Nobody has the type of lifestyle where they don't want to save $1,000. It doesn't matter how much money that you make. You don't not want to make $1,000 a month. One of you can quit a job. One of you wouldn't have to work. If you're in a relationship, you can have an old school lifestyle because you don't have to spend this. You're basically spending one person's entire income just to eat out. Learn how to cook, folks. I really can't hammer that point home hard enough because it's the most important part of all of it. Stay your ass at home. It has nothing to do with coronavirus, nothing to do with anything else. Stay at home. The third very hard decision that you have to make, I guess these are all very hard decisions, but the third very consciously hard decision you have to use is to get your ass out of debt. Fix your credit. So we're going to use the Dave Ramsey snowball method for this because I just feel like it's going to be the most efficient for you. List your debts from smallest to largest regardless of interest rate. So the amount that it goes up every single year doesn't really matter. This is more of a psychological advantage than it is. It's not even really a financial advantage to do the avalanche method. Neither method's going to save you money. One is going to make you feel a lot better. One is going to just kind of burn you out, quite honestly. The avalanche method focuses on interest rates. So the highest interest rate in the avalanche method is what you focus on. We don't care about the interest rate right now. We care about the pure, whole, hardcore amount that you owe. And I'm going to be giving you a few extra tips in this as well to fix your credit and get through the debt. Make minimum payments on all your debts except the smallest. Okay, so basically, we're trying to eliminate the smallest debts that we owe as quickly as possible. So that 15% to 25% that you're saving every single paycheck, that's going to getting rid of your smallest debts. That's one phone call that doesn't have to be made every month. That's more time back in your pocket. That's less stress in your life that you can absorb and now give energy to other things and other purpose. It's a whole different freaking lifestyle. With this as well, if it's an outstanding account in some degrees, if it's something that you started back in college, if it's something that's gone to collections already, and it just doesn't seem like that much, you can settle the account for less than what the account is actually worth. You don't have to pay back the smallest amount. You got to nut up and have a conversation. You have to be vulnerable and be humble and tell these people your realistic situation and that you may not have the cheddar to cover this debt. But guess what? There's more debt in the world than there's people earning money. There's not enough money on the planet to pay off all the debt. All that matters is that you want to pay back what you owe. You understand that you borrowed this money. It's like borrowing money from a friend. You borrowed this money. You have to give it back. It doesn't matter how much money someone else has. That person has significantly less money if they keep lending money to people and no one gives them any money back because everyone has the same mentality that, oh, they're rich, I'm going to pay them back. Oh, it's all fiat currency, I'll pay it back. It might be fiat currency, but the accounting still needs to line up for balance, no matter what. It needs to balance out. So repeat this until every debt is full. And you're going to see your debts disappear. So it's kind of like you're finding, and another thing, there's certain debts you can dispute. So if it is a very old debt, if it's something that you don't, I recommend to do this method properly. And what I started doing, get a copy of your credit report from every single credit bureau. Every single one. Once you're done, and once you got it, assess it. This doesn't look familiar. This looks familiar. I didn't owe this amount. And then you could write a letter to the credit bureau and have it eliminated from your record. I'm not going to go into too much of that because it's a whole science within itself. But most of those people that you see saying that they're going to fix your credit, you can't fix anything that you actually owe. They can't they're not going to pay your bills for you. They're going to write you a letter, and they're going to send a dispute letter to the credit bureau, and if the person knows what they're doing, you'll at least get a letter back that says, no, we're not going to do this, and then you just pay this person an exorbitant amount of money, even more, probably enough money to pay off some of your debt, to write a letter for you that you could write yourself very easily, or they're going to fuck up your life, wake up a sleeping giant, wake up a sleeping beast, and the person's going to say, okay, not only do you owe us money, but we stopped tracking interest because we forgot about this account. So what you've owed us, plus the interest that you now owe, is twice as much as you would have originally owed us had you just shut your fucking mouth and paid us what you owed us. Now what? I would rather just pay off the debt. I'd rather just get it over with. There definitely are some debts that you can just dispute, but in the long run of things, it doesn't really help your credit score because your credit score is about honesty. It's about being a reliable person. It's about being a person of integrity. It's about I pay my bills on time. You know, I may not have everything to pay my bills, but I at least pay off the minimum. I try to give people something. You know, it's it's a sick, twisted mentality, and I know it because I've had it before. To not pay off your debts, to not want to fix your credit score, to just want to live in a world where credit just doesn't exist, and you don't have to work because it's all around us. Our entire nation is built on credit. There's no way to avoid it. Focus on getting out of debt. Once you get out of debt, you don't need a business. You don't need a job, quite honestly, unless you feel like working, because the only reason why you were working to begin with was debt. That's it. Once there's no debt, there's no reason to work. Your mortgage is on this list of debts and expenses that you have. Once you spend about 5 to 10 years paying off your mortgage, and if you follow the Ramsey matches, pay your mortgage off as quickly as possible, you now own your house. Now you can retire. You don't have to work anymore. If you got to save 25%, instead of spending 25% on paying off your debts, you know, you can probably buy your house outright, maybe. Might be a fixer-upper. You don't need that much house. Buy a smart house. Buy an economy house. 2-3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, maybe 2 floors, some storage. You know, you can fix up the house as you go. You can, if it's your home, you can build an extension with the proper zoning. If you don't like the house anymore, you can flip the house, you can sell the house, get more money than you paid for the house to begin with, and you can move on with your financial goals. That's step 5. Resume and repeat this entire list until you achieve your financial goals. If you're saying that finances are the issue, there's no reality that exists where finances are really your issue. Your financial habits are your issue. And I've been through that. Your financial habit is either you don't work for enough money and you rather complain about, because depending who you talk to, they're going to give you a different result. They're going to give you a different answer. Some people don't mind it. They don't work for enough money. They're silent. They don't care. They don't say anything. They don't try to blame anybody. They also don't try to do anything about it. Some people just complain about how little money they make, and they don't realize they're working underneath their value. They are working underneath their value. No one is forcing them to. No one is requiring them to have this job that they don't like. These are the coworkers that you hate because they complain all the time. They may barely do their job because they feel like they're not paid enough to do their job. You're paid what the job is valued at. You might be working with a bunch of like high school kids. And if you're working with a bunch of high school kids, you should know that you're not working a job that's going to take care of you because these kids don't have any responsibilities. If you don't work full time and you don't work part time, you're going to have financial issues because you could have spent 3 more hours a day, and that extra 3 hours a day would have doubled your income damn near. We play games with ourselves, and then we attempt to use excuses, or we attempt to use complaining, or we attempt to use criticism to hide our flaws and to hide our issues. The grand reality of all this is that once you apply this list, and this is in your back pocket, it's like fasting. If you're having a spiritual issue, you're having an issue in life, fast for 3 days, fast for 5 days, fast for 7 days, and you're going to gain some clarity to fix this. This is a financial fast. If you're really having some hard financial struggles and troubles, focus only on food, shelter, and transportation. You got those 3 things paid off for the month. There's nothing else for 30 days that you're required to pay, that you need to be worried about, that needs to affect your life and no longer has any stress or any hold over your physical being. You're free. So I know it's going to sound crazy. I know it's going to be very difficult, But once you detach yourself from the consumer mindset, these 5 things can make you a producer. Thank you.